Sir, stand by, and action.
How did you get to be involved in the film, and why did you take the role?
Well, I read the script. I was working on another film which was completely different. I was playing King Edward VIII at the time in a film directed by Madonna, and this script came to me through my agent, and it could not have been more the polar opposite of what I was doing at the time. And so, you know, it's a terrific story, it's a terrific script, and in all honesty, it's not the kind of thing that I'm often offered, you know. So I met with Ronnie and Reg, which immediately tickled me because they sound like the Crays, and they were you know, really enthusiastic that I might be involved, and we talked it through, and when they offered it to me, it was a complete no-brainer to do it. You know, it's not like anything I've ever had the chance to do before.
Yeah, and how do you see the character of Sam?
Well, you know, it's difficult from being inside the character, but he starts off, he's a squaddy, and he leaves, and he's got a girlfriend and a baby to support, and he doesn't have that many options actually. I don't think he wants to go and become a prison officer, but he does, and it has a lot of similarities to being in the army in terms of, you know, the discipline and all the rest of it. And as his story goes on, it becomes a more and more complex environment. And he deals with it progressively less and less well, and it's a sort of descent into his own little prison of the mind, really, and you know, eventually there's resolution at the end of it.
Yeah, and how much of Ronnie have you put into Sam, or what parts of Ronnie do you?
You know, bits and pieces. You know, Ronnie's a lovely, lovely guy, and I think that was kind of important, because when I read Sam, he fights a lot of people, and he can come across as a pretty unattractive, unappealing character, I think. But when you meet Ronnie, you feel immediately a warmth coming off him. So I tried to borrow that aspect of him, and I sort of tried to borrow his accent a bit as well. And we see how we got on with all of that.
That's brilliant. What's been your biggest challenge in bringing a screenplay like this, and keeping the integrity of it in film?
I think the biggest challenge has been making it feel realistic. Most of the film's set in a prison, you know, and it's making it feel realistic, but from the prison officer's point of view. That's been the biggest challenge, and still keeping it sympathetic. You know, only because of people's preconceptions, you know, of prison and prison officers. So, yeah, I'll say that's been the biggest challenge.
Yeah, and how are you finding how much input is Ronnie putting into this?
Yeah, well, I mean, obviously he wrote the book, and then he wrote the script, so that's a hell of a lot of input from the start. You know, he's on set, and he's on set when he needs to be, and he, you know, if I need some technical advice, he's there to give it to me. If I want to run some ideas by him, he's there to, you know, discuss those ideas. And so, yeah, I mean, he has that kind of input when we're on set, you know, and it's good. It's good input.
Yeah.